Hello everybody, this is T with katescraftycloset, and today I'm going to show you how to make this really clean and simple Easter card. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started. So the first thing I went ahead and did, and I did this beforehand, this is a stamp set that I've been having in my stash for quite some time from Tailored Expressions, and I just went ahead and stamped this onto this panel right here, and I colored it because I'm not the greatest at color, and this is a perfect example for me to practice and see and work with the blending and stuff like that. So it took me some time to do that. That's why I decided not to show y'all on camera, because I am not the person at this point in the game to teach you coloring and any tips and tricks with that, other than start with one color and then graduate yourself slowly into two colors. So these were only blended with two colors on the flowers. I didn't blend nothing in the centers. So that's just kind of like my take on things. And we're going to be using that Happy Easter from the same sentiment right there, just so you know it's both from the same set. So the first thing you're going to need is a piece of cardstock. This is a 120-pound cardstock from Amazon, the Accent brand, and I will do my best to link everything that I use in today's video in the description box below for your shopping pleasure. So I'm going to bring in our scoreboard. Got our piece of cardstock here already pre-trimmed. I do that a whole bunch of times. I had a whole bunch of them behind me. And this is, we're going to be a top folding card. So that means we got to score at 5.5. And sometimes with the sticker cardstock, you got to be firm, but not too firm, because you can rip and put a hole in it like I did earlier. And so basically you want to flip it over. It's just easier to butt it up against there in case you might have been off a little bit, or the paper might be off a little bit. And I just take my bone folder and go ahead and crease that to the best of my ability. And I am satisfied with that, so we can call that done. And I took a piece of 6x6 cardstock and I went ahead and trimmed this down in half. So this is a 3 inches by this way, and I just trimmed it off to make it 5.5 to match the card. And I wanted to put it on here, so I just kind of eyeballed it earlier, but I'm going to go in with some double-sided tape. You can use wet glue, like whatever is easier for you. Right now, me and my wet glue, it's the way it comes out sometimes, it's like too fast or not fast enough, so I'm playing it safe on video so it's less mess for me to clean. And this works just as fine because it's the same size as our card. It's easy to place, so I'm not going to feel like I'm struggling with lining it up, because this is a super easy one to line up. Now, if it would have been a little bit smaller than our panel, our base, then yeah, different story. I probably would have used wet glue, just because. And this cardstock is some cardstock that I've had for quite some time as well, so I'm pretty sure it's not available. So I'm just going to go ahead, because this is easy to line up because they're the same size, I'm just going to go down at the bottom like this and put it and press it, and boom, done. That's what I like about that. So we're going to bring in, done for that for a second, let's bring in our colored egg, and we're going to put our sentiment on it. And I just have this old Fiskars stamp press. These come in handy if you know you can get your image done in one pass. So I'm using this VersaFine Clair Nocturne. It's a pigment-based ink and ink-based ink. I think it's a hybrid, but I'm pretty sure it's pigment mostly. Yeah, pigment ink, my bad. And I know you give me a good impression the first time. So this is the easy thing about this. You can just lie in on here. You can use your grid to line your panel up to make sure it's straight. And you can stand over this as your best bet, but I'm going to eyeball it to the best of my ability. And we're going to press down and hope for the best. Okay, not perfect. We missed a little bit at the bottom, but that really is okay, because I'm not concerned about that. Not concerned about that. That happens sometimes when you do that. So we're going to come in with some foam squares, and we're going to just put them along the back. And that's the only thing about that. You can't push it down perfectly on there a second time. And like I said, that's 100% totally okay with me. Okay, so we have those, have that done. Now bring back in our panel that we started. So we have that. Let's pull our release paper off. Normally I would put some liquid glue on the back of these foam squares to give me a little bit of wiggle room, but I'm not going to do that because it's okay. It's always just play, have fun. You know, you make mistakes, it's okay. It's all about the learning process. And that's what I leave all my mistakes in my video. I'm just going to do my best to say, is that where I want it? Yeah, I'm good. Like, boom. All right, so next thing I went ahead and did is I have some ribbon here that I've had for quite some time. So I'm just going to take a piece of this yellow, just because I find that there's too much white space going on out there, that it draws the eye away from the card. So this yellow will kind of bring you back into it. So I'm going to use these haberdashery scissors, and please leave these in the case. I promise you, you won't regret it, because if they're out and you nick your finger on that, you're not going to be a happy camper. So leave them in that case when you're done with them. So I promise you, you will thank me later. So I'm just going to do what I'm going to do with this. Sometimes some ribbon doesn't do well when you put liquid adhesive on it, but this one did okay. So I'm basically just going to take a little bit of my art glitter glue, and like I said, this one is giving me trouble and issues, and I'm just going to take my finger and I'm just going to wipe it to the side a little bit so I don't get in the way of the project that we're doing and get glue everywhere. I need some more. You can take a glue stick if you wanted to. Like if you had some really thin double-sided adhesive, you can do that, but I don't technically have any smaller than what I have. And I'm just going to take it. I'm going to butt it up against that cardstock from earlier, and if it doesn't go down the first time, I can always add a little bit more adhesive, but we're going to make it work, right? And we're going to make it work. Just hold it for a second. It takes a moment to grab, and sometimes your finger might be grabbing alongside with it. So see what I mean by my glue, how it's leaking like that? It's just not being friendly. So I'm just going to take them haberdashery scissors while I have them out, and I'm just going to trim off the excess ribbon. I always like to cut more because it's easier to cut off than it is to try to, you can't add more back on there, okay? So I'm going to put those to the side because I don't know if I'm done with those. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Or maybe I'm not. Who knows? So we got that part done. And another thing we're going to do is, I have a bow. I pre-made that bow with the same ribbon, but a different color because there's 3 ribbons on the roll, and I made it the tails longer probably than what I'll need, because I can trim those off later or at any point that I want to. But before we do that, we're also going to put down some gems as well. I have some of these little clear iridescent ones, so we're going to put 3 of them on there. And here's a little tip for you all that I learned because of my glue, the issues. I take this picky tool, this pokey tool, you want to call it, and I use it just for glue to unclog it and stuff like that. I don't use it for anything else. And I just take that glue and I dab it where I want to put these gems because it's easier. Because if I squeeze too much out onto that cardstock using the nozzle of the actual glue, I'm not going to be a happy camper, I promise you, on that one. And then we're going to put one down here. Can always go in and grab a little bit more so we don't waste any of that glue that fell off, right? And then we're going to put another one down yonder. Okay? And we're going to go in and grab another one, and then we're going to grab another one. Perfect. And we're going to have to give it time to dry. And then we're going to go in and we're going to put our bow up here like the other one. Okay, and I'll get a baby wipe and wipe all that stuff down a little bit. And then once this bow dries some, if I need, I'll maneuver it and I'll trim it down some. But for right now, if I maneuver it too much, it's going to just keep coming loose off the paper. So that is our little cute Easter egg Happy Easter card for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you get notified each and every time I upload a video to YouTube. Make sure you check out the store. We do carry a lot of products in there at katescraftycloset.com, and I'll link that in the description box below. Use the code SAVE5 to save $5 off of your order of $25 or more, and I appreciate each and every one of you all, and you all have a crafty day, y'all.